everybody, I'm Pearl.
I'm Bob.
And we are just passing through.
And this is our next exit.
Come and join us.
And you would be joining us in Yuma, Arizona. But if you joined us 2 weeks ago, you'd have joined us in
Quartzsite, Arizona.
We just finished up our 2-week isolation period from the rally.
Yes.
And we come through just fine, no COVID, no nothing.
And we haven't heard from anybody that has had any problems since the rally as well.
Yep, we've talked to maybe 6 or 7 of the couples that were there.
And they've talked to others, and so far, nobody's heard.
Everybody seems to be fine. So part of it, I'm sure we just got lucky, and some of the procedures we put in place probably helped.
95.
He's alive, but not hardly breathing yet. The hair.
We made a couple of videos already that you can kind of see the different things we did. Trail. Pearl and I didn't go on any of the Jeep rides and trail rides. We stayed there in the camp, but that was a big hit. But we did have a lot of activities: the trail rides, the bingo, the craft sessions,
rock painting.
But probably the most popular of all the activities was what? What would you say?
I think the most popular was the campfire.
Yeah.
And we did have a great turnout for a couple of the community meals.
Yeah, but the campfire was probably the biggest, because sometimes during the meals people would be going to town or going off doing stuff.
Right.
But we would just be sitting around the campfire or just sitting around the camp talking, and we'd say, somebody would say something, why don't we do a lunch or a breakfast or dinner tomorrow? And every time it's like, yeah. And that's the advantage of doing this stuff with more experienced people is everybody brings stuff. They've got stuff. So there was always plenty of food. Although when we did the rib cook-off, there's 2 or 3 couples went to town, a little bitty dinky store there in Quartzsite, and they bought like 4 or 5 racks of ribs.
Yes.
And that was awesome. The rib cook-off, and there's probably 4 or 5 smokers, 6 smokers, a ton of barbecue.
At least 5, yes.
So that went over great.
And we had a pancake, morning breakfast, pancake and eggs and bacon. And that went over very, very nicely.
All the meals went over pretty, and the bingo went over pretty good.
Bingo was fun.
We did bingo every day. Kind of what stimulated this whole thought of the rally was giving away those portable power stations.
All right.
But there were some people that really wanted to win them.
Yes.
But for the most part, people didn't really care about the portable power stations. It was nice, it's nice to get them, but
I think
it wasn't
a
a big
couple of the
deal.
winners were real happy to have gotten
Do you?
it. Yes.
For the most part, people either had solar or had regular generators and didn't seem like they really cared about little power stations.
Power station, yeah.
To us, it's a big deal. But the ones we kept that we use are a little bit bigger.
Yes.
But
and they have really come in handy.
so all we gave away at the bingo was just little logoed coffee cups, Quartzsite 2021, and those tote bags.
And stickers.
The coffee cups went over big. The tote bags and stickers not so much. So if we do it next year, we're going to have to get a lot more coffee cups.
And I'd like to see if we could get larger coffee cups. Those mugs seem to be a little small.
Yeah. But
there's a couple other things that turned out really well. Music, the karaoke, and the music by Dale and Ted and John.
They didn't play every night, but every couple of days they'd break out the instruments and play. And then
it was fun.
Kim would sing sometimes with them.
Yes.
But and the good things, they played old-timey music that wasn't copyrighted, so we could have it in the video.
Right.
So that was really enjoyable. And in the karaoke, we only had 4 or 5 people that was brave enough to
Right.
karaoke.
Right.
But thanks to Marcia for bringing all that.
Absolutely. And
And-
Marcia's got a great voice. She did
Yeah,
good.
she does
She's
really
a
good. And
great
a couple of-
singer.
Everybody did pretty good. You did pretty good.
Eh,
If we add it to the good spots.
thank you.
You bet.
Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. Wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. Wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away.
So I think it kind of rounds up to, or equals out to, people wanted to be there to do things with other people.
Right, right.
They wanted the campfires, the meals.
And I think the nice part about it is everybody enjoyed meeting so many other people,
Yeah, I think-
like-minded RVers. And I think several people walked away with some brand new friends
Yeah.
after the rally, and that was wonderful.
Oh yeah, they're already getting together in different
yes.
parts, different
Oh,
places.
yes.
We had, and I won't tell you what happened. We had a couple from Kansas, Daryl and Lori,
Yes.
and they were pulling a fifth wheel in their diesel truck. And I'll let them kind of tell you this story.
Wow.
So Daryl, tell me about this. You were headed here from Kansas, was it?
Yes, sir.
And you got almost to Quartzsite?
Yes, sir.
And your navigator, Lori?
Lori.
You do now. Do you monitor the gas and the fuel and the directions and the turning? What? How does all that go?
Not exactly. With the diesel, it seems to be like the truck goes forever. So we were having too much fun, and whenever we
How big a
left,
tank do you have?
I have a 36-gallon tank.
36 now.
yeah, whenever we left, we had errands to do before we headed on to Quartzsite, and really wasn't thinking about the gas until it happened.
What happened? What do you mean?
Well, we were driving along, and all of a sudden the truck kind of jerked really kind of hard, and word that wasn't so good come out of his mouth. And I thought, don't tell me we're even having trouble with the truck. It can't
Oh, like
happen.
engine trouble.
Yes, because I thought this is a pretty new truck. And my husband said, I think we're out of fuel. And I couldn't believe it. All I could do was turn my head because I knew if I opened my mouth, it wasn't going to be nice. And I didn't tell him though. I said, you've got to be kidding me. He's like, no, Lori, I think we're out of fuel. I said, how did that happen?
What does everybody think about that?
How did that happen?
So we were in Lost Dutchman State Park on at Apache Junction, and we left there on Thursday afternoon with intentions on being here around 4 on Thursday. We ran some errands, Walmart, got the dog a treat at McDonald's, and headed out. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I just didn't pay attention to the fuel gauge. Just did not cross my mind to pay attention to the fuel gauge. So about 50 or so miles east of Quartzsite, the low fuel alarm come on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not a good thing out here. And
Did you tell Lori right away?
no, I did not tell her right away because,
And you didn't say, oh my gosh.
no, I did not. Well, in my brain, I did not say, oh my
Yes,
gosh, but
yeah.
I didn't say anything because I didn't want her to know about it right away unless it became a problem, because she'd just stress out about it. And so I started looking at my phone and looking at my Gas Buddy app to find the nearest service station, and it was either 25 miles behind me or 25 miles ahead of me. So I made the decision to just keep going forward rather than trying to turn around, and I tucked in behind this semi. I slowed down, tucked in behind this semi, trying to draft him. I was thinking I was Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah.
And so we drafted the semi for probably about 10 miles. And then he went to go around another vehicle, and I didn't make it, but it wasn't just about a minute later.
You're thinking you had it made.
I was
maybe.
thinking I had it made because we were getting close to Siloam, which is out here east of Quartzsite, and there's a pilot there. That was what I was trying to make it to. And so about 6.2 miles east of Siloam, according to my GPS, the truck jerked. I'm like, oh no.
And that's when you found out.
Yes, that's it.
And she says, what's wrong? And I said, we're out of fuel. She's like, you've got to be kidding me.
Of all things, I thought, out of fuel? How can you be out of fuel? But it's kind of like when we brought our first baby home. The mother-in-law and the mom was there, my mom was there, and they said, we need some milk for this baby. We're like, milk? So that was kind of the same thing, you know, we need gas. And
Gas?
we were out.
So we pulled over, we coasted over to the side of the road and stopped, shut the truck off. And both of us started looking on our phones for roadside assistance. Even if we had to, we were thinking, even if we had to sign up immediately with like AAA or somebody like that. But what I ended up doing was calling a local organization, I believe it's A to Z Towing out of Quartzsite. And they said, yeah, we'll be there, we can bring you some fuel, but we're an hour and a half away from being able to do, hour away from being able to do that, because we're on another call. I said, fine, we'll wait. So they showed up about when they said they would be there.
Yeah.
And so brought us 5 gallons of diesel fuel and filled us up, and I asked him to stay and wait to make sure the truck would start. Because sometimes, depending on the truck, diesel engines have a hard time starting after running out of fuel. Fortunately, the truck started right up and run like rough for about 30 seconds and then purred like a kitten like it usually does. So then he followed us to the fuel station, we filled up, and at the fuel station he sent me the invoice. So 5 gallons of diesel fuel cost me $207.
Now, do I remember right that you threw in something extra for him?
Yes, the guy was very, very helpful. A to Z Towing, very, very helpful, very, very kind. And I have a soft heart, and so I just thought, you know what? I don't have any cash, but if you follow us to the next station, I will give you a tip. So I gave him a $30 tip. My husband was kind of looking at me like, why are you doing that? But you know, when you're out there where there's nothing around, you're really not familiar with the area, you're just so thankful and grateful that somebody is so willing to help you. So
you took it out of his allowance, out of Daryl's allowance.
I sure did.
Good.
I sure did.
So there's a good ending to this story you just told me.
Yeah, so this morning I got to thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for a week already, you know, because it cost me $207 for 5 gallons of diesel fuel. But I got to thinking about it, I thought, well, we have roadside assistance through our automotive insurance company, which is State Farm. And I didn't think about it at the time. So I called him this morning. I called my agent and I said, hey, I told him what happened about us running out of fuel. I said, can I get reimbursed for this on our roadside assistance plan with State Farm? He said, yeah, sure. He said, do you have an invoice? I said, yeah, I have one. He sent me his email address. I sent him the invoice and they're going to reimburse me some or all. I don't know if it'll be 100%, but they'll reimburse me some or all of the $207. So
that's a cool story.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
You know what, Bob? I have $207 to blow now.
Good. There you go. Well, I'm so glad you made it. I'm glad you got that last 5 gallons of diesel.
Yeah.
And made it.
Yeah.
You've been having a good time.
The only
Yes.
drawback was it got us here after dark, and it was hard to find you guys. So we did not find you here Thursday night, but we did find you Friday morning. So we got here and we've had a great time. So.
Yes,
And you
we've
got
had
a full tank of fuel now.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh yes.
And my first question whenever we go anywhere is how much gas?
How
do
much
we
gas?
have? And we've enjoyed our time here with you and Pearl. You people are so gracious. You're just godsends.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us.
You are wonderful, wonderful people. We've had a great time. I won the cup I wanted. And
The logo coffee cup, huh?
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
and you guys are just great.
This whole group I know you made some great friends.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we've made some good friends here
Yes.
this week, and we're leaving out tomorrow sometime.
Yes.
But met a lot of neat people,
Yeah,
a lot of different, a multitude of different backgrounds, and we've really enjoyed getting to know them.
And you guys are great hosts, and you're somebody that we'll never forget.
Thank you. So thanks for sharing your story too.
You bet.
Yes.
All righty.
Thank you.
You bet.
And then a little bit of update, Daryl sent me an email of that $200 and something that it cost him to have fuel, that 5 gallons of fuel brought to him. He turned a claim into, I think it's State Farm. And they paid him back, they reimbursed him for all that except for the actual fuel.
$20, wasn't it?
Yeah, the price of the 5 gallons of fuel. So
Yeah.
he come out pretty lucky. So if that ever happens to you, and you've got roadside assistance, you might check and see, will that end up paying for your
Absolutely.
call? And then Carl Black and Charlene, they came from Florida, and they were on their first day. I think they had a blow, and they were in a Class A motorhome.
Right.
They had a blowout. They had to get a new tire, and then they saw 2 more tires that had bubbles on them,
Yes.
and they had to replace those. So that's 3 tires they had to buy. Luckily, their trip back was much better.
Yes, thank goodness.
And he had some warning lights, I think, for water in his fuel, and we had a Dave's. I'll put his card up here. But he came and gave us, what he does is if you have a engine breakdown and you got it in the shop and it's going into big dollars and you don't totally understand, you know, they're telling you this bearing's rubbing on that bearing and it's gonna cost you $20,000, your engine's blowed up or dusted.
Well, he does an engine analysis, doesn't he?
Well, he does engine analysis, but bigger than that, you can call him and he will be your representative. So you don't have to talk to the shop or the mechanic. They'll talk to him and then he'll explain it to you in English. And if they're trying to kind of pull something over your eyes, the wool over your eyes and get something sneaky going on, he knows enough about it. He's been in the business 30-something years and he can save you some money. And like on mine, I was having trouble on ours heating up. And come to find out, ours had never heated up. He put the Cummins code reader, plugged it in, and it said right there that it has not heated up and that it's a bad sensor or a bad connection. And he told me, get your overflow hose and pull it out and let's look at it. And I had to unhook it. It was strapped down. We got it out and it was dry and dirty. He said, you've never overheated because it would have had antifreeze in there. Antifreeze won't evaporate. It would still be there. So it's never, the cooling reservoir never has overflowed, which means it never has overheated. So I cleaned that connection. I'm anxious to drive over a mountain on a warm day and see if it overheats or not. And a couple of guys, that cost $150 to have him hook up his code reader. But he can kind of walk you through, you get a 6 or 8 or 10 page report on your engine. So that was pretty cool.
And it left us with a little bit of a comfort level, knowing that it wasn't as
That it
severe
hadn't
as what we
overheated. It
thought.
may still be running warm, but it's never overheated or got hot or boiled over.
Right.
And then, like I was saying, Carl Black, the code reader said that he had a code that was telling him that he had water in his fuel and he had replaced his fuel filters. He'd done a couple of things and the light kept coming on after a couple hundred miles. And the same thing, it was a bad connection.
Sensor connection.
So his trip back to Florida was a lot more comforting, not having to worry about that light.
So there again, we have what's called, like you heard about yesterday, Bob, we have a sensor, like we had in his yesterday, or we have a dirty connection. And we mean we have a 28 count, we more likely have a dirty connection. So this is what it is. But this could be very serious because the garage is going to want to replace your turbo for about $4,500.
Oh man,
So this is where we're going with this over here.
So that was a good seminar that we had with Dave's diesel repair,
Right.
whatever it was
Right.
called. And then Lori with her jewelry making, and then Laura with her, she helped with the rock painting.
Rock painting.
Those went over big time good.
So do all these stones have holes in them?
Yeah, it's already come
Oh,
that
there's
way.
some tiny little holes in
So
them.
how you gonna? It's gonna be fun trying to figure that one out.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of folks, the guys and the gals, did both some jewelry making and some
Yes.
rock painting.
Yes.
So that went over well.
Well, the girls did the jewelry making. There was a couple guys that entered in for the.
Yeah, but there's the guys
rock
with
painting.
the jewelry making with their wives too.
Findings here.
Oh,
You
that's
got
true
some,
too. That is true.
Chips of actual stones there. So you can get what you need, what you want, what you might want to put together, and then I can help you do it if you want to. So for this here, we can.
So it still gets down to, because Pearl and I are wondering, we're thinking about doing it again.
Next year.
Yeah, and we're wondering why would people even come?
Or why would they want to come?
Yeah, and a lot of them said that, you know, to meet a YouTube person and stuff, I can kind of get some of that. I don't totally understand why people would come from Florida and Kansas and Kentucky and
Maine.
yeah. And somebody wrote an email, said they're from Maine. I don't think I met anybody at the rally that said that I can remember who came from Maine.
I don't remember who.
If you're the person or the couple that came from Maine, shoot us an email or let us
Please.
know. We want to know who it was because I just can't find that email or remember it.
The
But I'm
one
still
thing
befuddled by how there were 51 RVs and 97 individuals.
And putting names to everybody was a little harder than I thought it was going to be.
I think most of us thought it'd be pretty hard. But we hadn't, if we do it next year, what possessed 50 people to come? That's just kind of amazing. And after it was over, we sat around with maybe a dozen couples
Right.
that were wanting to make sure we did it again next year.
Yes.
And I'm still not sure, even after this great, wonderful, successful rally,
If there would be
what it'd be
enough
like
interest.
next year. Huh?
If there would be enough interest, or
If people, yeah. Was it that enjoyable? Was it that good? I think it was. I think obviously it was.
I definitely think
It's
it
just
was.
my lack of confidence, I guess, that makes me second guess myself. But we want to do it again next year. If we do it, there's a good chance it could be better, bigger.
And there's a couple things that could be a lot different, or a bit different, which would be helpful.
Yeah, no COVID, that would be nice.
That would be real helpful. But like the pump out, you know.
Oh yeah,
going
we're
to
talking about
different-
doing it because if it got bigger, I'm not sure we have space for it
Right.
in the long-term visitor area.
At Quartzsite, right.
And Pearl and I was talking, at the rally, there was a couple of people, because a lot of us were there for 2 weeks or a little bit longer.
And longer, right.
And so we had to we never did run out. We made it 15, 16 days, and we never did, we still had water left and room in
Right.
our holding tank.
Right.
But some people unhooked and went to the dump station and dumped and got their water.
Right.
But there's a service for $50. You can have people come to you and dump your tanks and fill up your fresh water for $50, and another company was $60. Well, to even camp in the long-term visitors area costs you $40. So Pearl and I were talking about maybe next year we may do it over where Dave and Karen and Tom and Lori were camped at Skadden Wash.
Skadden Wash.
There's some big areas there where we could get 60, 80, 100 RVs,
And
most likely.
and
And you could hire somebody to come for that same $40 you spend at the long-term visitor area. Put $10 with it and somebody will come pump you out, pump your tanks empty and fill you up with fresh water. So that, if it's going to be any bigger, that might be
that
the way
would
to
be,
go.
Yes. I mean, granted, it'll cost you $10 extra, but you're not paying that $40 fee to
Yeah,
camp.
so it's almost a break-even thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're thinking about that.
Let me shine it kind of this way. So what's the name of your company?
AJ Septic.
And what does it cost to come out here and do this kind of stuff?
$40 for black and gray, 10 for water.
10 for water.
We're
And
just
you
a
all-
little mom and pop shop, first year running, trying to grow.
How does somebody contact you if they...
Telephone. Oh,
Number?
That's, 321-288-5051.
Super. All right. And then they just call you and you set up an appointment and
Yeah,
meet them out there?
easiest way you can do it is on your Google Maps and just text message your location to me. Come right to you.
All right. Perfect. Thanks very
Seems
much.
like it would definitely be worth it.
Yeah. So anyway, we just wanted to kind of give a little bit of a run through on how it went. Oh, and Dave, we want to thank him from our endeavor.
Yes, absolutely.
He
Dave
did the geocaching. That went over pretty big.
Real big. And he also did some silk screening.
Some silk screening went
You
over
had
real
to
big.
provide your own shirt, but
The only problem with that is we were all on solar, or not most of us, and it's close to the end of the day, and he's using up all my battery, my electricity. And every time I turn around, he'd be taking another shirt. Somebody bring me a shirt, and he'd be doing another one. I said, Dave, I'm out of power.
so Don next door volunteered. to
Yeah,
use
Don
his
kept
power.
giving different folks, he had a bunch of new t-shirts, and
Yes.
he would give them a t-shirt, and then Dave would put his Our Endeavor logo, silk
Yes.
screened on their shirt. But I had enough electricity left for coffee the next day, so
Thank goodness.
that worked out okay. Luckily, Dave finally stopped. I did run out of power 2 days while we were there because we had some rain a couple days.
We had, bad weather.
So, and now that our batteries, we worked our batteries hard. I got back here, my batteries are worse than they were when I left. So we're gonna have to buy some batteries before we take off this summer. We don't know if
Hear
we're
them
gonna...
generators are running in the background. A lot of people have done pretty good with their solar and not had to run their generators much, but we've got ours running now. You can hear it chugging along. We have this little muffler thing that takes the fumes up, and some of the noise, not a lot of it.
So,
Several of
and now
those,
that our batteries, we worked our batteries hard. I got back here, my batteries are worse than they were when I left. So we're gonna have to buy some batteries before we take off this summer. We don't know if we're gonna go with the golf cart batteries, with AGM batteries, or possibly even lithium.
Lithium.
We're just trying to figure that out right now. I don't know, but we're probably gonna have to get something. And we gave away the portable power stations. Mike won the little Snugback.
Where'd you come from, Michael?
Idaho.
Idaho. And is that where home is?
That's where home is.
Okay. Are you going to do a little touring around while you're in Arizona? Or
Yeah, well, a little bit.
a little bit, and then head back to Idaho. Huh?
Yep.
All right. Thank you,
And
sir.
then Patricia won the Rockman 200.
Rockman 200.
Picture of everybody with their name tags. There we go. Cool. Thank you.
Right.
And then Marcia, the karaoke, the lady doing the karaoke for
I
us.
am Marcia from Joplin, Missouri, driving a 2014 Georgetown XL.
Did you win any bingo today?
I did not, but my friend did with my help.
That's good enough. Double up.
She's doing the
Thank you,
drawing.
Marcia.
In the third winter, she reached in. We had her board up so she couldn't see what she reached over the board and pulled out her own name.
Her own name.
So she
Wow.
won the Blue Eddie 500.
Figure the odds on that one.
And that will work perfect with her karaoke setup.
Absolutely.
She had just a battery and then an inverter hooked together. It was a nice clean setup, but not as nice and clean as a portable power station.
Change your life, but there's a warm wind blowing the stars around, and I really love to see it tonight. I'm not talking about
And then
So that's
Ken, he won the big one.
And now for the grand prize winner. The suspense. Everybody's hoping on pins and needles. It could be you. It could be you.
8, 1, 3, 6,
Who is it?
8, 2.
Who's going to win it? We got a winner. All right. All right. Come and get your prize. Dave, can you carry it? Let me hold this. Hold this.
Wow, that's what I want.
Nice job.
That's amazing.
I'm so sorry. I was stepping on Duffy. I was apologizing. Good job. Very good, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
That's so cool. Yeah, I know he was proud of this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Can I borrow it if there's a conflict on it?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thanks everybody. This has been awesome for us.
Ken and Anna are the ones that kind of, I don't know, I'm sure several people were involved, but they kind of ramrodded that
the
surprise birthday party. with us.
Yes.
That was so awesome to have. I can't remember having a birthday party since.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bob. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Thank everybody so
That
much.
was just awesome. I don't do birthdays and stuff too much, so thanks everybody that was in on that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was a nice, well appreciated.
To do.
Well, this year, there was a couple, Dennis and Robin, that they actually, some of the folks, instead of them having unhook and go dump, Dennis and Robin are spending the winter in Quartzsite, and he's all set up with tanks and pumps and stuff to pump the gray tanks out and the black tanks and to bring fresh water. So for 3 or 4 or 5 people, coaches, he dumped their tanks and brought them fresh water.
Exactly.
So thank you very much,
Yes.
Dennis. You know you've made a friend when somebody's for free pumping out your black tanks and bringing
You
fresh
bet.
water.
You bet.
You're making friends if you make a friend like that. This year we had a number of people that really pitched in and helped out
Absolutely.
with helping. Priscilla helped with the bingo game, got that wave going with everybody. And then Lori and Laura and Dave, and a lot of people helped out. It wasn't just us. And
Ron.
Ron probably is one of the guys that made the whole thing work. He literally made it a point to go and visit with every single person.
And he
Every
even
night.
helped introduce the people that came
Oh,
in,
yeah.
the new people coming in.
That's a skill most of us don't have. That was so awesome. And if somebody got in the back row, they didn't have room to fit in the circle.
Right.
He would go and make sure that they got people scooted around. And one night we were in the back row, and he come in and had people. I was real comfortable back there, but he said, "No, you got no back rows here." He's just an awesome.
Can you smell him, Ron? Oh yeah.
Thanks for the loan of him, Kim.
Yeah. So we had a whole lot of help this year and appreciate it so much. Next year we're gonna probably need, if we do it, and if it does look like it's gonna be as big or bigger,
We'd
to
like
see
to
if
have
we can get some more,
volunteers.
maybe the same folks or some
Yeah.
more people or whatever, because it takes more than just Pearl and I and a few volunteers. It just maybe a little bit more structured. We do appreciate it so much, and it wouldn't have worked without all you guys jumping in, recognizing a need, and just stepping up and doing it.
Yes, it was absolutely awesome.
Yeah. So that's it. That's kind of gives you a catch up on the rally of Quartzsite 2021. We're going to take off in April. We're going to meet Jeff and Lori up in South Dakota, and then we're going to do the Dakotas, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and then look back on the Pacific Coast. And we'll see some kids that we got on the West Coast. We got kids up at Reno. We'll see them going up and probably coming back.
Right.
And probably meet Computer Joe, Jeff and Lori, and probably 2 or 3 more people kind of hinting around that they may be coming up there.
In the same
that we'll run
areas.
into, yeah.
So it would be good to run into people again.
So we got to get our battery thing answered. We got our slides working. We think we've got most of our slide problems fixed.
Thank goodness.
And then Tim and Rosa came over for dinner the other day, and he just purchased a little gizmo. I got it outside, but it helps you find with ultrasonic sound, but it air leaks. And so we've got some small leaks. I think we may be able to fine tune those. So I think we'll be ready for some boondocking this summer. We better be.
We better be with the solar we put on.
And until we see you guys again next time, keep the wheels rolling.
Stay safe.
We'll see you at the next exit, folks.
Bye-bye, folks.
Alrighty, folks.
We haven't done anything yet.
Well, you're here in the middle of the desert.
We're retired, I will say that, and we're working on getting ready to sell the house here in March, April.
You've got your tow truck.
We got the Toad. We got about a 2020 Dodge Ram 2500 with a Hemi in it, and we're gonna put a side-by-side in the back of it. And
but you don't have your what you're going to pull behind it yet.
No, we don't. We're going to be looking for a Class A after we sell the house.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull the truck behind Class A.
What makes you think you want to do the? You're going to talk about full time, sell the house and full time RVing?
Correct.
What YouTube channels or what?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing. And Bob and Pearls are my favorite one.
Who's your next favorite? Who's your real favorite?
Oh, I don't know. I like Our Endeavor.
Yeah? Oh, do you really?
Yeah,
cool.
I like that. I watch the Sunday night.
Dave and Karen, yeah?
Yes, Dave and Karen around the Sunday night happy hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like those. Lori and Tom and Lori.
Tom and Lori?
Tom and Lori.
When do you think you'll sell the house? How long until you...
April. We're looking at April.
Okay.
We're going to get back sometime first part of March.
So you sell your house, you get your RV. What part of the country are you going to?
Oh, everywhere.
But to start, you got to start somewhere. Which direction? We don't know that yet.
Head north, probably. Maybe go up into Michigan. They got some places to ride side by sides and stuff. So.
Yeah. It's probably pretty nice that time of year.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What do we think? Entered Mr. Entertainment.
What do you mean, Mr. Entertainment?
Well, you provided us a big picture show. We got to watch the dancing and the swooning and...
Oh, the dancing was over here.
No, y'all both were dancing. And then your banjo or ukulele or whatever that was last night, that's beautiful.
Well, and you can say it's beautiful because you don't know the difference between a banjo and a ukulele.
That's true. But I know the difference in getting up and going for a walk or sitting down and listening. And I sat down and listened.
I'm Ted, this is Nancy.